Hey, Car Chronicles. Clearly, I'm not in my car today. I tried to make a video earlier about our little adventure to California and Nevada, but I had like a sickness in my throat and I kept coughing the whole video, so I decided to delete it and try again. This is just a little recap of our family vacation. Like I said, to California and Nevada. So we got there on Wednesday afternoon. Didn't do much because it was Elijah's first airplane ride, and we were really tired because we had to be up at 4 a.m. that morning. Um, so we just kind of hung out at the hotel that we got and crashed. The kids were really good. And then the next morning, what was it? Thursday morning? It was Thursday morning. We woke up and we're like, you know what? There are red oak trees around here. Let's go see if we could find some red oak trees. And we went and drove and got lost because the map and where the actual forest was, we were in a residential area, and I was like, we're not parking in someone's driveway. Like, it's not happening. But we did eventually see some people walking down the trail, and we're like, oh, there it is. We'll park on the side street. We'll go. We went and walked, and it was freezing. I don't know why it was so cold. We were in California coming from New York. We thought it was going to be like 70, 75, and it was like 62, like, and cloudy. So we were freezing our butts off on this hike. And the kids were a little cranky. Again, with that time change, they were up at 4 a.m. California time. So we ended up going for this hike, taking a nap. And then we woke back up, got in our car, and drove to Huntington Beach. And it was, again, freezing. However, we were in California, and we were there to do some California things, like go to the beach. And the kids actually had a really good time. I was cold. My husband didn't have a shirt on. He's like, it's so nice and blah. And I was like, no, it was freezing. And now there's a breeze and the waves were crazy. There's actually like, I had a warning on my phone about going into the water. But the kids had a great time. They raced and ran, and we saw a pier that was kind of in the distance a little bit. And we're like, oh, it doesn't look that far. Let's just walk over there with the kids. It'll be fine. It'll be great. So we were so far away that we couldn't see there were actually people on the pier. And we were walking up to it like, oh my God, there's so many people over here. We didn't even see them from that far away. So, we concluded that a beach mile is the same thing as a Las Vegas mile. It looks really close, but in actuality, it's really far away. But we did make it. It was about 1.5 miles if my Fitbit is any sort of, accurate at all. So, got there. Went up. We got to see some surfing competitions going on and volleyball, beach volleyball, which is really cool. The surfing was actually really cool too. So we got to see that. The kids got to see that. Me and Bri bought some hoodies because we were cold, and then we started the trek back because it was getting late and we were all getting a little tired and cranky because, again, transferring the time zones is just not easy. We ended up carrying the kids back, and me and my husband were exhausted, right? So we're carrying these kids on our backs. One's 9, one's 5, so they're not small anymore. They're not like super easy to carry, and they were exhausted. My son, he was like, Mom, my feet, and I'm like, I'm so sorry we did this to you, but like, I'll carry you as far as I can. So what ended up happening is, since I was the only one allowed to drive the rental, I parked the kids by the parking lot's huge, like it's massive. It goes on probably for a couple miles because you could pick where you park on the beach. And I said, babe, give me the keys. And I ran to the car, and saved an extra hour walk with like a 20-minute jog. So there was that. I was dying. For the record, I had no shoes on because we had put our shoes in the car to walk to the pier. No shoes, in a dress. So I'm running on the beach in a dress with a hoodie on because I was freezing. I can't imagine what people were thinking. I know in New York, people would be like, what the hell is wrong with this lady? But since we were in California, I can't imagine it was anything absolutely insane. So we get the kids, we crash. Thank God we make it back. So, Friday morning, we get up, we eat breakfast. Again, still kind of transitioning over the time zones and stuff like that. We go in the pool, I think in the morning on Friday. And then we make our way to Nevada to go to the wedding we're there for. So Kids were great. Bride did some homework and they took naps, and we got there, went to the pool immediately because it was 90 degrees out. It was fantastic. I loved every second of it. Um, got ready for the wedding, went to the wedding, had a great time. Elijah danced his ass off. And like, when I mean dance his ass off, he was like, I am the life of the party. I love attention. Look at me. Look at what I'm doing. And that is just his personality. Like, I don't ever want him to change because he's so personable, and it terrifies me, like, as a mom, but also is really encouraging because I was not like that as a kid. So he danced his butt off. Bri kind of laughed at him the whole time and was just, she had fun watching him the same way we do. She danced a little bit with him, but not a whole lot. And he tried to get me to dance, and I'm like, oh, buddy, I am not a dancer. A lot of things, dancing is not one of them. He's like, you just let your brain tell your body what to do. And I'm like, okay. So I'm just jumping. That's it. That's all I can do. Anyway, eventually go back, and the next morning, the family wedding we were there for, they had like a after party at the beach, at the lake, and we rowed a boat, and I got to hang out, and the kids got all to play together, so that was really nice and relaxing. It was also a little stressful because, again, Elijah's still adjusting to the time zone, and he's not doing the best, especially now that he's baking in the sun. So he had a little meltdown, but he did okay. Wrapped up that day. I got to meet some more of my husband's family, and that was really nice. Excuse me, got to hang out with them. And then Saturday night, no, what day is this now? Saturday night, yeah. At the beach all day, just trying to relax. We went back to the hotel, hung out. Excuse me. And then Sunday morning, got up, got breakfast. Elijah ate more food than I knew he could. And then we drove back to California, and that was super great. We saw little, dust bowls, right? My son now refers to them as tornadoes, and it's adorable. And got back Sunday late afternoon. We were going to try to go back to the beach, but we were so tired. So we ended up just going back to the pool, hanging out. And then Monday, our last full day there, we're trying to figure out, because again, it's cloudy and it's like cold, and we're like, do we go to Six Flags? Do we go to Disney? $600 for the day. It doesn't even include food. I don't know if we're going to do Disney. And then we were thinking about Great Wolf Lodge because it was indoors. But eventually the kids kind of settled on. Bradley really wanted to go to a whale lodge. Elijah really wanted to go to the aquarium. And they both went together, so it worked out really well. And the Aquarium of the Pacific, if you ever get the chance to go, it's a lot of fun. It is like an all-day thing, especially if you go on the whale watch too. I would suggest going more in the summertime, and we went in like the end of May, so it was still like a little chilly for the whales to be migrating out there and stuff like that. But the aquarium in Niagara, the one closest to us, is not an all-day thing, and the Aquarium of the Pacific absolutely is. So we really got to enjoy that, and the kids did too. Had a lot of fun. A good way to end the trip. And then we got back up the next day and got to the airport. Everything went really smooth, and I just want to throw in this little tidbit at the end. It was great because our last flight from New York City back to our hometown, we got upgraded because there's not as many people on the flight. It was not a full flight, so they upgraded me, my husband, and our two kids to first class, and our kids lost their shit. They're like, there's so much room, this whole table full. And I've also never been in first class, so I don't think my husband has either. It was really exciting. We were just like losing our shit. So yeah, that really wraps up our trip, and I can't wait to get back to regular Car Chronicles and keep just kind of vlogging my life. And so it's going well. See you next time.